This isn't the most bizarre thing you've heard this week. Tell me. Yes, Claressa Shields, the unbeaten boxing champion, did something that no one had anticipated. The streets are in uproar at rumors that she is out here exposing some very private pictures of Remy Ma. However, I assure you that the tea is hot before you inquire as to why Claressa would do this and how Papoose is connected. Everything will be made public. Could this be a form of reprisal for something Shady did in private? Is this simply another awkward online hoax, or is Remy really being exposed? More significantly, is Claressa aware of our problems? This is getting more and more tense by the minute, so let's take a close look at it. Since the rumors about Remy and Easy the Block Captain started, Remy and Papoose's marriage has been in ruins, as you may already be aware if you've been following along. Guess who is at the core of the major drama that the Queen is suddenly involved in? Yes, the streets are going berserk because this complicated love triangle has taken a whole new turn. Spinning, and Papoose hasn't exactly been whining about it, to be honest. According to rumors, he has been having a great time and may possibly be entertaining a new girlfriend. And you know what? Claressa comes into play at that point. Industry whispers and some leaked direct messages indicate that Claressa and Papoose have been becoming a bit too close. Before you all start screaming fake news, remember that we've seen stranger things happen in the entertainment industry. One minute we're watching them compete in rap battles, and the next thing we know, relationships are breaking down, private photos are being leaked, and social media is on fire. But here's where things get really crazy. Remy Ma has been trying to maintain. Even when everything went well, Remy Ma allegedly started emailing Papoose some private pictures after she was on a leash, according to some unnamed sources in celebrity group chats. When she found out about these alleged exchanges between Papoose and Claressa, she was, to put it mildly, unhappy. Tried to restrict him and remind him of what he's missing, but here's the catch. Those same photos may have ended up in the wrong hands, and guess who's being accused of leaking them? The person is none other than Claressa Shields. To be clear, there isn't any confirmed evidence yet, but it's already being discussed online, asserting that Claressa wanted to publicly humiliate Remy after allegedly obtaining these private photos due to her close relationship with Papoose. Consider for a moment that Claressa, a professional athlete who has won championships, is supposedly playing pointless Instagram games, hurling insults in group chats, and making sure Remy Ma is humiliated on the international stage. But why she would do this is the true puzzle. Was she being dirty for the pleasure of being messy, or was it a spiteful, nasty act to make Remy seem awful and show Papoose that she was the superior woman? In any event, harm was done since. As soon as this story started to spread, individuals started sharing reaction videos. Remy apparently, what did it say he had gotten those photos from Remy? Maybe she was trying to win him back, and he sent them to the wrong person. Or worse, he purposefully let them go, rather than keeping them private. It may sound absurd, but anything is possible when it comes to retaliation. You know, the block captain was stingy. People don't understand this. What if Claressa wasn't here? Couldn't be that this wasn't even Peppo. What if someone else planned this entire situation with the sole intent of seeing Remy fail? Envious business insiders, bitter ex-friends, people with long-standing grudges, and some who believe it may be someone from Remy's past who wants to make sure she never recovers are all examples of what has happened previously. The reactions continue to become more irrational as this scenario unfolds. Among the Easy the Block's captain scandals, this one may be the most frightening. One fan remarked, "Remy Ma is out here getting exposed like this. Dan, the streets aren't safe for anybody," while another tweeted, "If Papoose really had anything to do with this, that man is more trivial than we expected." And someone else said that Claressa should simply make it a live, pay-per-view boxing battle between Claressa and Remy. Instead of using Claressa, let's deliver our final words before Papoose tea-dye. We're talking about treachery, heartbreak, and a narrative twist so ridiculous that it's even genuine. This isn't just rumor, it's the kind of drama that shakes the hip-hop industry to its core. The scripting of the play was excellent, but let's pause for a second. It gets worse because Remy's last words before this shocking wedding baby changed everything. Papo, the same Papoose who backed Remy during her 6-year jail and who came up with the expression ride or die, is now suddenly threatening to tell Claressa, "I could do it." What was it she said? Was it "You won't see Claressa or Remy Papoose the same way after we sort this out"? Now, let us discuss the unimaginable, the kind of betrayal that causes you to question all of your beliefs, the kind of twist that makes even reality television appear to be deceptive. Something so scandalous that it could end this wedding before it even begins, such as a last-ditch appeal or confession. Bedtime story because we thought that loyalty was the foundation of everything Papoose and Remy Ma achieved and that they were the final authentic hip-hop love story. But now there's a major twist. Papoose and Claressa are getting married. As if things weren't chaotic enough, Remy's parting words prior to the wedding fundamentally altered the trajectory of events in ways that nobody could have anticipated. I am aware of this, so let's take a step back. I'm not sure what it is, but if this isn't the most obvious instance of you treating me this way after I kept you down for years, then it goes much deeper. How did we get here rather than just why, is the actual question. How did Remy wait for 6 years while Papoose, the same artist who rapped about black love, was locked up and decided to change lanes in this way without warning? But don't worry, I've got all the receipts, and I assure you that this is just the start. If you go back and see the connections, darling, it has been clear to us all along that this love narrative had flaws, which we should have realized long ago. Papa has been acting differently to begin with. You all remember when he used to be in the front and the dude was promoting Remy like he were her personal cheerleader, and he had #Blacko written all over him. Not only has he been absent lately, but their connection has also been acting strained, awkward, and forced. Additionally, Papoose was photographed at a high-end industry event in Los Angeles a few months ago. You know, Pap doesn't even go to things. Events akin to those in Hollywood, but guess who was seen getting very close to Claressa? This wasn't simply a friend vibe, I can assure you. It was a contact who hung around for too long, smiling as though he had just heard the greatest joke ever and whispering in his ears. The absence of Remy Ma was the biggest warning sign. People, when did Papoose ever move like that? This was never the case, but it wasn't the worst part because we'll be discussing Remy next. Say what you want, but this woman isn't a fool. Remy Ma is a strategist, so it doesn't make sense that she didn't anticipate this. When Remy Ma found out about Papoose, she was taken entirely by surprise, according to those familiar with the matter, as well as Claressa, just as we did with the blogs. Imagine browsing Instagram and spotting your spouse embracing a different lady. This is arrogance, disdain, and treachery. But hold on, it gets even dirtier. Rumor has it that Remy may have known all along and had just pretended to be the victim before the truth came out. Oh, because as an added bonus, Remy has her skeletons. Rumor has it that Remy was the first to depart. Some believe that people just up and departed without a reason. Rumor has it that Remy Ma grew a bit too close to a specific friend in the business, and when Pap found out, he decided to play it out instead of making a big deal like the rest of us would have. Cool, he said nothing until he took the ultimate retribution step and started making fun of Claressa. We must discuss her immediately because, well, who is Claressa? And how did she successfully persuade Papoose to leave Remy Ma? Believe me, you're not ready for what's about to happen since Claressa has a history that adds even more strangeness to the situation. Let's talk about Claressa because you will be taken advantage of if you believe that she is just a random woman who happened to win Papoose's heart. While everyone is looking astonished as though this happened all at once, let's face it, sis had a plan from the start. Wait until you hear what Remy said shortly before this wedding, just when you think it can't get any messier. Claressa had been working on this for some time, and if you examine her background carefully, you will discover that she has a history of achieving her goals, regardless of who she needs to overtake to do it. She claimed to be teaming up on the mysterious business transaction she was working on last year, which you may remember. This was no oops, we caught feelings kind of incident. Rumor has it that Claressa snuck into his life through this purported business transaction. It was all business meetings, networking gatherings, and idea exchanges at first, but soon Papoose emerged as one of the powerful figures in the sector. She texted him late at night, "Hey, I just need some advice." You already know how slowly that works, but she ultimately got his attention. "Oh my God, you're so different from other men in the industry." She wasn't even being clever about it, which is absurd. She was out there tweeting cryptic messages, giving away too much information in interviews, and making sure. While Claressa was out there trying to break into Papa's life, Remy was starting to understand something wasn't right, so it got worse. People understood she was dealing with a powerful man who wasn't happy in his relationship. Women can sense when something doesn't match up, and insiders say Remy had a gut instinct something wasn't right. Observed that Papa was acting differently. He was suddenly too busy to converse and was no longer showing up for her as he had in the past. Then everything suddenly changed, and a private investigator was brought in. Yes, because Celie did what any affluent woman would do when Remy couldn't get the feeling that something wasn't right. And let me tell you, not only did Papa meet Claressa behind closed doors, but they also found receipts, text messages, hotel reservations, and private dinner appointments made under false pretenses. This was a shocking discovery. When Remy eventually got the proof, she allegedly lost it and confronted Papoose with every screenshot. You understand, don't you? Oh my God, the room went silent as soon as I told you because Remy recognized what had happened. The phone logs everything, including times and dates. What was Papoose's response? Without arguing, shouting, or even denying it, this man simply sat there as composed as ever. After giving her a quick glance, he uttered 7 words that made her quiver. Remy wasn't innocent in any of this. As I've already stated, Papoose was also involved. The most ridiculous part is that Remy simply stared at him, knowing that he had discovered her own small dilemma on the side without even denying it. Let me tell you something. She was aware that this was retaliation. When I tell you that Remy did not hold back, she let it all out because, as you can imagine, she lost all of her composure the instant Papo struck her with that. Remy's response was, "Oh baby," she did not go out quietly. You are all caught off guard by what she said next, so if you thought this was messy, wait until you hear what occurred next. According to sources, she just sat there for a long time, trembling her hands and breathing rapidly as she stared at him. She then laughed, but it was the kind of chuckle that goes, "Oh, you really think you did something? You have no idea what I'm about to say next." And when she eventually said something icy, she came in close and met his eyes. "You think you're the only one who kept secrets?" Boom, y'all's Papoose's entire face changed because he thought this was going to be his big moment, his retaliation. But no, because the real tea, oh baby, Remy had been sitting on her bombshell, and when she dropped it, it shook the room. He assumed Remy would simply cry, perhaps scream a little, and then leave. When she took a deep breath, leaned back, crossed her arms, and said, "Claressa doesn't love you. She's using you and me." Remy had been holding a secret that would put an end to your little fairy tale before it even started. You too. Theo must have stopped because he was the one sweating and desperately trying to figure out what was going to be revealed. Can demonstrate it, bomb. To be sure, Papoose did not believe her at first. He hit her with the whole, rolled his eyes, and shook his head. "You're upset and I'm." Continuing the speech,